Hello, every peoples. Thanks for dropping in again. This appears to be a Thursday tradition. Fourth Thursday in a row that I've done something streaming online. We'll see if we can keep this up. But yes, it is good to see all of you, even though I can't see all of you, as is the nature of streaming. Okay, so we're gonna try something. Hi, chat. Hello, chat. I see all the people saying hello in various ways, including many yo's. Yo. All right, we're gonna try something kind of unusual this time around. And I'll repeat the rules for this later on, but we're gonna do a bit of a challenge because I've had people ask me, can you compose something live? Can you make a piece of music just on stream? And normally I don't like to do that for a few reasons. One is because when I'm making music, it's usually not for me. It's usually for a client, and they don't usually want their music out there in the wild while it's being created. So, you know, there's respecting that. It's also because I think part of the process is kind of boring. There's a lot of iterating over and over and over again when you're trying to make something awesome. But what if I try not to make something that's awesome? All right, are you familiar with a show on the Food Network called Chopped? On the show Chopped, you have these chefs, and it's basically like a game show. They have to impress the judges with the food that they're making. But the trick is that before each round, the Chopped chefs are given 4 ingredients. And those 4 ingredients might not really work that well together, but those chefs have to try and make a dish that uses those ingredients well anyway. And I was thinking that the same type of thing might work well for music. So on Twitter this morning, I asked people to send me random instruments. Send me random instruments. And I got a lot of instruments. And so I will show you the first 4 I got. So first of all, we are going to go to, here we go, my music composing screen. I am tiny in the corner. So let me bring up what I was sent. All right. I was sent in this order: kazoo, a marimba, mayonnaise, ukulele, or ukulele, I don't know, and bass guitar. And one of these things is not like the other. Mayonnaise, there's an obvious reason why I'm not going to be composing with mayonnaise. It's because I don't have any in the house, obviously. But the other 4 instruments are just fine. So let's I'll take this away. I'll bring it back later so people can see how we did. But you have over here, these are the instruments. I've already set up the instruments in, mayonnaise. It's the internet. Of course there's going to be people asking me to compose with mayonnaise. I've set up the instruments here. I have kazoo, marimba, ukulele, bass guitar. So bass guitar. And ukulele, marimba, okay, and then kazoo. Now kazoo, these other 3 instruments, they were called virtual instruments, VSTs, because the instruments are stored on a computer hard drive, and I play my keyboard controller. Let's get this more so that you can see my keyboard. All right. I play the instrument, and that's how I'm able to use so many instruments when I'm composing things. However, the kazoo, you don't really make virtual instruments for the kazoo. For one thing, it's a very personalized instrument. It'd be difficult to make one anyway. And for another thing, these things are cheap. I bought this for like $8 a few years ago. I used it for a few songs for Epic Snails. It's pretty fun. And I have one here. Let's see if I... hopefully you were able to hear that. Now, I'm hearing a beeping when I turn that on. Are you hearing a beeping? That one was weird. I was hearing a beeping there. Can somebody in chat tell me whether or not they were hearing a high-pitched beep on that one while I was recording the kazoo? I don't think anything is... I don't think anyone is saying... Oh, wait. I'm getting yeses. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Not sure what's causing that. We might just have to deal with that in the... in here, but let me just try making a new mono. No, that's also having an issue. It might be... Okay, that may just be a technical difficulty that we have to deal with, but fortunately we should only have to deal with it when I'm actually trying to record something on the kazoo. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Not sure what's going on there. But anyway, here is my setup. I am using the program Studio One. All right, how would we start? Okay, when I'm starting the song, I tend to think either emotion, what sort of mood is the song going to be, or what's the action happening in the scene. In this case, because the instruments are given for me, or at least the starting instruments, I can add other instruments to it later, but I have to highlight these four. I'm going to go based on the instruments, and this seems like a pretty happy selection of instruments. It's pretty tough to make a sad ukulele and kazoo song. I'm just going to say. Marimba, that sounds tropical. Ukulele sounds tropical. Bass guitar, I think, is going to go with that. So, yeah, I think we're going to go with something happy, something relatively tropical, and we'll see what happens. All right. So, question is, where do I start? Well, could start with bass guitar. I may end up starting with ukulele because the ukulele has a very short range to it. Let me bring up... So when I open up a virtual instrument, this is what it looks like for me. You can see here, this is East-West's play interface. And down here, the white notes, that's the entire range on a ukulele. A guitar has a larger range than that. This is a bass guitar. I can go quite far with that one. Although some of these notes, I believe, are used for effects. Bass guitar doesn't go that high. But ukulele, very, very small here. See? Doesn't play anything. So, that may be a reason to start with ukulele instead. I also could just start with a kazoo and make the melody with that one. But, no, let's go with ukulele. Okay, so if I'm going to start making a ukulele song, or making a song, I also have to look at time signature and speed. Right now, down here, it's set to 4/4, and the speed is set to 120. What does that mean? 4/4 is a time signature. That means that there's four, it's a pattern of 4 beats. You're going to hear a metronome play that for me later. 120, that means 120 beats per minute. So there's going to be a tick sound, or a beat. It works out to 2 every second. All right? So if you play it, that's the speed of it. 120 beats per minute is sort of a fast walking speed. It's the default in Studio One. And you can hear that there's a heavier beat every 4 ticks. That means we're working in 4/4 time. All right. If we were to go to 3/4 time, just to show those who are maybe new to the music thing. All right, you can hear the ticking there. That is a different kind of musical feel to it, right? A waltz kind of thing. All right, so that is kind of the difference between a 4/4 and 3/4. You can do all sorts of crazy things. 2/4 is a fairly standard one for marches. 6/8 time is a good one for adventurous kind of themes. You can also do really weird things. You can do 5/4. You can do 7/4. I just finished composing a song today that was in 11/4. That was fun. It's a little bit weird. It's rare for a reason, but it worked in this case. Okay, now to the song part. So, let's see. Marimba. Let's put this back to 4/4. I think that's going to be the better way to go. And I'm just going to start playing around a little bit. I think I better mute my phone here. Sorry about that. Phone muted. All right. Okay, something like that could be fun, but I'm thinking that might be a little bit fast for a ukulele. Ukulele tends to be on the slower side. Where now let's go up an octave. You don't really hear a ukulele played fast, so I'm thinking we're going to slow this down a little bit. Tempo 100, that's a slower walking speed. I'm liking that. I think I might even go a little slower. Let's say in 96. Okay, let's start recording this for real. Now, I have this set up. Here we can see my setup, my metronome. I have pre-count 2 bars. This means that I have 8 ticks for me to get ready to record before the actual recording starts. This is important for me to kind of get into the zone of it, and it means that as soon as I press record, I don't have to immediately start playing. I can get into position. So let's do this. Okay, short, but I'm thinking this is going to go, this is just mostly major key, major, very happy kind of sound. I'm probably going to change this up later because I have a plan where some of what I just played as the melody for the ukulele, I'm going to hum with the kazoo and then remove from the ukulele, and I will show that soon. But, okay, I'm going to go into here. So what did I just do? I double-clicked what I played, and this is how the computer understands it. This is MIDI. So you're seeing each note, how long I held the note when I was holding it down, what the note is. We have a piano roll on the side here. And if I'm going to select all of these because the notes should be on the beats that I'm playing. But you might notice that each of these notes seems to be a little bit before the beat. That's because of something called latency. When I record something into my keyboard, the signal actually takes some time to process on the other side. So I select all. Every time I compose anything with MIDI, I select all and I slide it into place. This is now a lot closer to what it should be, and it should be lined up with the beat. So let's listen to everything without me playing and without the clicking in the background for now. Okay, I like that. I think that is good enough for me to go on. Now comes the challenge of seeing, can I remember what I just played off the top of my head and accompany that? I'm going to go down to the bass guitar because it's nice to get at least a bass or something percussive in early so you can kind of support what you just played. I'm going with bass guitar because that was one of the suggested instruments and no one suggested a percussion instrument. So let's see what happens here. All right, let's go. And this is why the pre-roll is important. Okay. Okay, I like most of that. Enough that I'm going to keep the recording I just made. Again, slide it over. I'm noticing that a few things are a little bit too much off of the beat. So I'm going to do something called quantizing. What is quantizing? Well, right now I have it quantized set to 100%. And it's set to 16th notes. This means that every note here is going to be shifted so that it is exactly on one of these lines coming down here. Okay? If it's 8th notes, 16th notes, yeah, that should be it. Okay, so if I click apply, everything shifted. I don't know if you could see what it's a little bit of a subtle thing, especially if you're watching on a mobile phone or something. It shifted. Now it shifts 100%, which means that it's all mechanically very much on the beat. And that's actually a little bit of a bad thing because if you do that at 100%, it stops sounding like a human being is playing it because humans don't naturally get on the beat every single time. The best musicians can get very, very close, but you want to add a little bit of humanity into it. So I'm going to undo that and put it down to about 60%. It's like almost perfect. A human did it, and now I'm making the human look like it's doing it a little bit better. Okay, now I'm going to listen to the two tracks together again. Okay. I don't think I want to have this walking bit up here. I don't think I like that. So, yeah, not crazy about these two. So I'm taking that away, and I'm just going to make it a one long held note here. I think that's better. I don't know. I may put it back in later. Okay, let's see. You should quantize it to a hemi, demi, semi-quaver. Oh, you crazy Brits and the way you say notes. That's funny, though. Hemi, demi, semi-quaver is, I think, a 64th note? Is that right? It's either 64th or 32nd. Quavers, quarter, semi, demi, hemi. No, that's just 32nd note. Okay. All right. Marimba. Let's figure out what we're going to do with that. I don't think I'm going to record this one first. I think I'm just going to play along going to turn the click track back on just so that I'm staying on the beat. All right. Okay. That's all right, but I want to listen to this a few more times to try and get a feeling of what I want this song to be. So I'm going to turn on looping. This little thing up here is a loop region. If I turn looping on, it means that when I get to the end of the song, I will start back over again. It's what you would think a loop means. Okay, I think I kind of know what I want to do with this. However, one thing that I like to keep in mind when I'm using instruments that are supposed to sound real is actually doing what the music or what the instruments are capable of. And in the case of a marimba is like a really, really big xylophone. Okay? It has a long, long range to it. I have a lot of notes to work with here. And when a person is actually playing the marimba, they're holding mallets. There's 2 in this hand and 2 in this hand. They can play a maximum of 4 notes at the same time. And they have to very much like change how they're holding these mallets to be able to hit the notes that they want to hit. It's a challenging instrument to play, so generally speaking, a marimba player is only going to play 2 notes at the same time. So I don't want to go something really complicated. A marimba player would never be able to do that in real life. Right? So I'm going to do something like that, but I'm going to keep it fairly simple. And I'm going to do an actual recording and see how this goes. Okay, I think something like that could work. However, all right, let's go back in, do the same thing I was doing before, copy all, slide it over. That'd be about good. Okay, and roughly quantize it. Okay, now what we have over here is a little bit of a problem, because when I was finishing off the song, I was going... Those are very fast notes. As soon as you quantize it, it breaks all of that. So I'm going to try and take off snapping, and we have kind of this zigzag motion in the notes here. That's what we want. I'm going to try and do the same kind of thing again here, just spacing these out. It's a little easier to do if you have an actual marimba. I don't, so I have to improvise there. Still not liking that a whole lot. Maybe we'll try this instead. I will go G sharp. That should be a G, because G sharp does not belong in the scale. There we go. All right, let's give that a shot from the beginning with the click track off. Oh. Still not exactly liking how this end bit sounds. It sounds a little bit unnatural, but that can be fiddled with. If I have time later, I might do that. I might even do... yeah, something could be done there. Okay. I'm going to re-listen to the song one more time because I am going to prepare for the kazoo. Okay, kazoo time. Now, as I warned the people before, but just so you know, if you brought in, if you came into the stream recently, as soon as I turn on the recording from this, there's going to be this sort of faint beep 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 beeping sound. I don't know what's causing that. I'm not going to tech support it right now. It sounds like that. So, all right. Hopefully it will not show up in the final recording. I'm going to attempt to sing kazoo, the melody that the ukulele is playing. Let's see how this goes. Okay, let's turn off the recording there. All right, let's see what just happened. All right, it has a very goofy sort of feeling to that now. That I'm kind of liking it. I was a little weak in the earlier performance here when I tried. So I am going to just take this out and re-record the beginning here, I think. Alright, now let's see if this will seamlessly match up. I'm going to look at my other take and see if this comes in better. Okay, I like that. I'm going to turn the volume on the kazoo down just a little bit. And I'm also going to... Wait a second. Oh, shoot. I am hearing the beeping coming through. Are you hearing that? So the beeping appears to actually be a part of the recording that I'm making there. That is very annoying. All right, we're going to try an EQ trick. What is EQing? EQing, oh, wrong thing. EQing is called the equalizer. All right, so what you have here, we'll solo this, and I'll just play. Okay, now the beeping is a very, very, very high note. So it's possible that we can get rid of it by just dropping out the treble section here. This is the bass side, this is the treble side, this is the middle, and the higher up you go, the higher the notes are. So by dipping it like this, we're removing everything from the high end gradually to where everything from the lower end still comes through. All right, yes, taking out frequencies of the sample. Thank you. That is a much better way of saying that. User bad place, all caps bad place. All right, let's listen to this and see if this works. Okay, that removes almost all of the beeping. Let's see, someone's saying weird noise in the mic. I think it's the sign of a mic which will break soon. You know what? That's a good point. I will test it later. I've had this microphone for probably a decade or so now, so it is very possible that this thing is about to die on me, which would be unfortunate. I like this mic. But let's take this away and listen to it in the context of the rest of the song. Okay, I think we have a good start of a song here. Now, let's just make sure about something here. For those who are popping in and wondering what I'm doing and making a song here, I am doing a challenge. I asked people on Twitter to send me random instruments, and the first 5 instruments that I saw were these: the kazoo, a marimba, mayonnaise, ukulele, and bass guitar. So what we have here is a song with kazoo, marimba, ukulele, bass guitar. I have those 4 in. Obviously, I didn't do mayonnaise because I don't have any mayonnaise. However, I do have Miracle Whip. Apologies, I thought I brought it down. I'm about to go up to my fridge, guys. Miracle Whip. Okay. Now, Miracle Whip is a tangy sandwich spread. I also use it as an ingredient in carrot salads, shredded carrots, raisins, and throw in some Miracle Whip in there. You have a very simple salad. Sometimes pineapple. It is decently low in fat considering its flavor. Not usually known for its musical properties. But I don't see any reason why we can't try and yeah. So all right, let's do this. Now, unfortunately, I suppose this means I'm going to get the same beeping as I did before. So let's bring in the EQ that I did from this one, and copy it over to my new track, Mayonnaise. All right. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now, if I had an empty jar of this, I'd be able to get a little bit more of a drum sort of percussion. But since it's full, it's very firm, I think I'm going to stick with the lid. All right. Let's see. Turn off recording there. Is this the first time a composer has actually tried using Mayo Miracle Whip as an actual instrument? I don't know. I doubt it. This is the internet. It's certainly the first time I've tried. I was considering the squishy properties of this and if I wanted to get like a sort of sound, but I have decided against that. Let's listen to it and see whether or not it works as a percussion instrument. Okay, so that works. I think I'm going to EQ this down a little bit more because I'm hearing a bit more of that one. There probably is a certain frequency in here, and if I just got rid of that one frequency, I might be able to leave everything else intact, but I'm doing this quickly, so I'm just not going to try and find that that particular frequency. Okay, now let's talk reverb. Reverb is echoing, and it tends to add presence to a song. And I just want to show how that can be used. I don't know if I'll end up using it for this, but I'll at least turn it on and see whether or not we can get some good results from it. So what I did was I selected all of my tracks. These 5 correspond to the 5 tracks up here, and I'm sending the audio output of all of these into this new track. This track is not an instrument, it is simply a track that is it receives all of the audio and is going to process it in some way before sending it out to the mains. My reverb of choice is again from East West Sounds. I'm not being sponsored by them, nor am I being sponsored by Miracle Whip. Missed opportunity there, craft company. But what we're going to do is we're going to look into where we can make there's all sorts of things here, instrument specific things. So you have like reverbs that sound very good with wind instruments, brass instruments, percussion, all those sorts of things. Again, Mayo, not in here. Churches, concert halls, offbeat locations. So you have Long Tunnel, you have Carlsbad Caverns. I've used those ones for a few things. They have this nice reverb for them. But my default, well, I like going with the orchestral hall, but I'm thinking this should still feel a little smaller in scope. So let's go with rooms. East West Studios, LA scoring stages, small drum rooms, big drum rooms, East West Studios. Why not? Choose one at random, see if I like it. Okay, I'm going to turn loop back on so you can kind of hear the effect of reverb. So, let me turn reverb off. Do you hear the difference between there? One sounds like it's just in a very small place. This now sounds like it's more of part of a presence of a room. Now, if you really want it to sound like presence, all right, so adds a little bit to the song. I might not keep it if I was doing this as a final thing, because ukulele is sort of an instrument that you sort of expect to be very close to when you're listening to it. You don't tend to see somebody on the stage rocking a ukulele, but at least shows you how reverb can go in there. All right. What else could I do with it? I could add other instruments if I wanted to. I would also probably, let me go into the ukulele and do what I said I was going to do at the beginning, which was remove some of the sounds in here. Remember, I started with this. The song started sounding like this. I'm actually going to re-record this, I think. Well, okay, I'll do this first. Let me just remove the melody that I made. All right, now let me turn on the kazoo. All right. So the nice thing about that is now the ukulele is not doing something that would be foreign to it. If you're playing the ukulele, you are not able to play... where is... How come... did I lose... I think I might have lost keyboard connection to... there we go. Okay. You can't play melody and chords on a ukulele very well. It's not built for that. So, I removed the melody so that it's just the chords coming in. Okay. So, let's see. I mean, I could add in like congas, right? Get some actual congas in there, maybe some shakers. I'm sorry, I just caught one of the comments. Thank you, Rise of the Duck. The best songs are made with a cat and a cheese grater. That's horrible, but yeah, sorry, that made my day. Let's see. Why not? Why not? I could add a shaker to this or something. This is where I would get to the experimentation stage of things. There are a lot of possible instruments to go with. The recent orchestral percussion section actually comes with shakers. But you know, I think I'm gonna try bongos. let's give bongos a shot here. All right, so the neat thing about the way that the bongos work with this is that you have a lower section and an upper section that are, as far as I know, exactly the same. I believe it's set up that way. So I can play... oh, right, sorry. Never mind, that was a different instrument. Timpanis are this way. Bongos, you have the lower drum and the higher drum. Okay, so with that in mind, let's play it and just see whether or not these belong here at all. Okay, yeah, I already like that. But I'm also going to make sure that it is added into the mix, bus 1, so that it's getting the right reverb. Okay. Call it bongos. All right, and now shift this over again so that it is lining up properly. What I've discovered as well is that I didn't actually have to hit many of the bongo notes because part of the percussion section is being covered by the mayonnaise jar lid. Sentences you never think you'll say. Yeah. That's all right. So we have a song. Okay, now there are a lot of ways that I can fine-tune this, and really I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with this now that I have it, but yeah, little glimpse of creating a song. And if I'm already seeing some suggestions of other things that could be added to it. Yes, adding in whistling, right? That could be something I would do instead of a kazoo, right? Something carefree and whistly. Pizzicato strings would be great. Let's see. R.I.P. headphone users. I'm sorry. Was the volume a little bit too loud for headphones? I'm so sorry. I don't really know how this is mixing on the end of people listening to it, so sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, a little 8-bar song, 20-second song, or 20 seconds long. But yeah, you can hear that. That's at least some of the techniques that I would do to make a song work. Thank you for being here for it and for adding all sorts of funny commentary along the way. You guys are great. And yeah, this worked out pretty successfully. Now I'm going to make sure that this gets back in the fridge because I do not want a nearly full jar of Miracle Whip to go bad, not for the sake of a streaming song on YouTube. Yeah, see you again sometime soon. Bye.